Why do you enjoy doing this? What do you enjoy about professional wrestling?
Man, there's a numerous of reasons why I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I mean, just for the simple fact that I get to travel and see the world. I mean, when I grew up, I really was just a very sheltered child as far as just staying in the house. I mean, I had limited of time outside. I didn't really like to go outside. I mean, I'm kind of like that now. But, I mean, I get to travel, get to meet tons of people. And not only do I get to meet tons of people, but I get to meet tons of people that I admired and I looked up to. And it's really good to be able to, you know, pick their minds and just learn more about yourself and just the culture of professional wrestling. You know, that's just even like a small amount of why I love doing this.
Who are some of your inspirations?
Oh man, there's a ton of guys. I'm a big fan of AJ Styles, big fan of Shelton Benjamin, big fan of Triple H, Diamond Dallas Page. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ricky the Steamboat. So I mean, there's just so many guys that I can go on and on. I really love this.
Who have you worked with that you were just like, this is great, this is amazing? Some of the guys that you think
it's a toss-up between, man, actually there's three. There was Too Cold Scorpio, AJ Styles, and Samoan Joe. I mean, that's a tough list to pick from guys. I mean, because I admired all those guys. I mean, if I would have to say one, I'm going to have to say AJ Styles, just because of the relationship that I felt like I've built with him with his time here in the locker room. And I mean, he's always looking out for me. He's always has advice for me in and outside the ring. So I mean, in and outside the ring. Sorry, but I mean, it's great, man. I enjoy it all.
How did you get your break and land in Ring of Honor?
I met Delirious in 2009. It was the first time I ever met him. Nothing ever came out of it. It was nothing built. I was still living in Texas at the time. And I took a 28-hour bus from San Antonio to Chicago for an opportunity for another promotion. And nothing came out of it, just a little buzz, nothing, but a little momentum. And of course, in wrestling, when you catch any type of momentum, you have to let it continue to roll down the hill, the snowball effect. So I capitalized off of it, and I packed everything, and I just moved to St. Louis to pursue my career. And within maybe a little bit over a year, I was signed with Ring of Honor after I did like a one match with them. And Delirious, he enjoyed my work and he wanted to sign me. It was probably one of the greatest days of my life. And I don't even have kids or family.
How was it when you had that match? What were your feelings afterwards?
The first match I had here in Ring of Honor?
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, it was a sign of like, you've come this far and you got a taste. You know, and I just wanted to keep coming back. I mean, everything that I kept inside that day was very internal. I was very grateful and very proud of, you know, what I had accomplished that day. But I knew that it wasn't nothing set in stone as far as me getting signed. So I just continued to grind until they offered me the contract.
Growing up, you said more or less you were a shy kid then, growing up. And in this profession, you can't be shy in this profession.
No, you can't.
How do you bring that out of you? And I've noticed that there are wrestlers that are very quiet, mild-mannered, or shy growing up, but when they get out here, it's just like the light switch goes on.
Well, I won't even lie to you. I mean, I would like to think that I'm shy, but a lot of people say that I'm not shy. I have a personality that can light up a room, I've been told multiple times. It's just, I like to stay to myself when I'm at home, outside of the wrestling environment. When I'm at home, I just, I'm very peaceful. I keep to myself, play my video games, and do whatever it is I need to do. But when I'm out here, it's just an electric feeling, man. The people are going crazy. They paid their hard-earned money to see you, so you want to perform. You want to entertain these people, and just something comes out of me. There's just something that I can't. I'm like as I told someone, and I really hate using this analogy, but I'm like a puppy in a room with a bunch of people in there, and I just want to just keep moving, and I just want to, oh, look at these people, like I can't stop moving.
What was it like growing up for you? And you grew up in San Antonio? Or what
Austin.
Part? Austin, Texas.
Austin.
So what was it like for you growing up in Austin, Texas?
Growing up in Austin, Texas, I mean, I lived in a single-parent household with my mother. I did move back and forth between my mother and my father occasionally sometimes. But growing up with my mother, she was a very strong, very independent woman. So,
Was she a spiritual lady?
Very, yes. And she taught me how to do a lot of things on my own. So when I got a certain age, I wouldn't have to worry about, getting help from some others. So, a lot of that teaching has helped me in my wrestling career because I believe that ain't no one going to do anything for me unless I do something for myself. So, I got to give it up for her, man. And my father, he was a tough guy. He was very strict, very firm. He was a father. So, with him, there was a lot of things that I learned as far as like not staying, not being in the streets and just, not doing certain things. So, I was lucky to have both parents, not in the same household, but I had both parents.
Did you enjoy sports growing up? Did you play sports growing up?
Oh man, I played Pop Warner football, maybe like in high school. My 7th grade year of football, I didn't play any games just because I was like ADD and I couldn't pay attention and I was in practice running around doing all kinds of other things. I did try out for football maybe when I was a sophomore, junior year. I can't believe which one it was. But the funny thing is, I didn't like it. I just wasn't passionate about it. And I remember after I decided to just stop pursuing it, I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to become a professional wrestler. So I remember my junior year, I was or actually it was my senior year, I was making phone calls before it was maybe a month before graduation, and I was calling up wrestling schools to try to see if I can enroll and how I can get into it. So, it was crazy. I actually went to school with 3 guys that wrestled, and I actually still wrestle with one back home in Austin, and so I've known him for 10 years now, so that's crazy.
What wrestling school then did you go to? Who trained you?
I was trained by George Della East and Pop down at AAP, or it's AAPW now in Austin, Texas, but when I went there, it was Quest for Champions QFC. I was there for about 2 months and a half, and then I moved to San Antonio. I relocated in San Antonio, and I was retrained by Jerry Reyes, Virus. He's a local wrestler down in San Antonio. So, they by any means, it's not like $1,000 training or whatever, but the one thing they taught me was discipline, and they taught me, how to love the business. And that's the best thing I could have asked for, and the rest was up to me to go out there and learn how to get it.
Really was match-by-match learning experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's the only way to really learn in wrestling, because I can show anybody 10 moves and how to do this and how to do that, but when you go out there and apply it, it's a totally different game doing it, outside the ring in front of no fans, so.
And what did your parents think about you becoming this professional wrestler now with Ring of Honor?
My mother absolutely hated it for a while.
It's hard. It's hard for any, because if you don't understand the business, it is hard.
It's hard
to associate. Oh, my son or my daughter is getting into professional wrestling.
Right.
They don't know much about it.
Right. And see, and I think it was just more of a mother's tuition thing. Just you're out there, you're getting hurt, and you can, something can happen to where it can really hinder your future as far as mobility wise, moving around and stuff. So I understood her concern, but I'm so stubborn and I'm so headstrong and I'm so passionate about something, and I'm very optimistic, and I just believe that someday I can become something, and I'm still working at that. So I was a train with no brakes, man. I was just full straight ahead.
Has mom or dad seen you wrestle?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My first time my mom saw me wrestle was in 2011. Yeah, and I started in 2006.
What was that like?
It was a super cool experience, man, honestly, because at that point she didn't understand it or whatever, but then when she actually got to see it live and how the people took me in and just the crowd reaction, and then people found out that was my mom, and they kept coming up to her thanking her and everything, and she was just I guess this is it. This is what you choose to do. And I told her, this is my love,
And she probably got a new respect out of it, too, coming to the live show.
Absolutely, absolutely. The one big thing that she didn't like about it was, at the time I was working 2 jobs. And then when I moved to St. Louis, I was working 3 jobs. I was doing pro wrestling, I was working at Target, and I was bar backing at a bar. So, between that, I really got any sleep. And, when she found out that I was moving to St. Louis, she got a really better understanding for it, because she was he's serious about this. Because it's not every day someone just packs up everything and just leaves everyone they know and love and just goes, I gotta pursue this. So, once I was able to make a living off of it, she understood it and was okay, you're doing something with it. It's not like you're just, running in place and not getting anything out of it. You have something to show for it,
Social media for you. Where can fans check you out?
Oh, well, they can follow me on Twitter at GoGoACH, and then I'm also on Instagram at GoACHGo.
Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man. Thank you.